Black Snape doesn't work. Now, before you jump into the comments, hear me out. This isn't about gatekeeping or getting mad at fan casting. This is about why, within the logic of the Harry Potter universe, making Snape black doesn't make a whole lot of sense, unless you're willing to change a lot about his backstory, which in today's age will pose more issues. We all know Severus Snape is defined by his social status. He's a poor, greasy-haired, awkward kid from a broken home. He grows up in a rough Muggle neighborhood. He's bullied, he's bitter, and he's constantly on the fringe of every social group, including the one he eventually joins, the Death Eaters. His arc is built around feeling like an outsider in every world he steps into, and that's without being black. If you race swap him now, you're adding an entirely different kind of alienation that the story never acknowledges or explores. Let's get real for a second. Snape joins what's basically the wizarding world's version of racist. Yeah, we can skip the fascist label because the word's been thrown around so much, it's lost its meaning. I digress. The Death Eaters are all about pure-blood superiority, and we're supposed to see this as a clear allegory to real-world supremacist ideologies. So if Snape is black, now we're in weird territory. Why would he, as a black wizard, ever align himself with a group like that? Would they even accept him? More importantly, would Voldemort? It suddenly makes Snape's motivations way more complicated, and not in a good way. Either he's deeply self-loathing, or the story has to change the entire ideology of the Death Eaters to fit this version of him. And at that point, you'll start asking yourself, is he even Snape anymore? Also, Snape goes to Hogwarts in the 70s. Now, if we assume the wizarding world loosely reflects real-world Britain, which it often does, being black in that era wasn't just a minor detail. It came with racial discrimination, social exclusion, and institutional bias more than now. That means a black Snape would have dealt with more than just being poor and awkward. He'd face racism on top of everything else, and yet, none of that is ever acknowledged in his story. There's no mention of race-based bullying, no cultural isolation, no dialogue about how he's treated differently. Why? Because the story wasn't written with that version of Snape in mind. Now, before someone brings it up, yes, Hermione was played by a black actress in The Cursed Child. But here's the difference. Cursed Child is not really part of the movie. It's like an extension per se, and it's a stage play. Second, Hermione's character isn't deeply tied to her cultural or racial background. Her being Muggle-born, smart, and sometimes even ostracized somehow works, Whether she's black or white, it actually somehow works. And it makes some sense when she's black because the metaphor of being looked down on actually fits. Snape, on the other hand, not so much. His motivations, his alliances, his entire arc would have to be rewritten to reflect the reality of a black man in his position. Otherwise, it just feels shallow and disconnected. And those are my reasoning why Black Snape doesn't make any sense. And no, it's not that a Black Snape is impossible, but the moment you make that casting choice, you've got to change the story around him, his trauma, his motivations, even the logic of the world he lives in. And in doing so, you're not just changing a character, you're disrespecting the source material and longtime fans who actually care about the story. Otherwise, you're not honoring the character. You're just doing surface level diversity that doesn't hold up under scrutiny. Representation matters, I'm all for that, but context matters too. And more importantly, when you're doing a live adaptation, the source material deserves more than just token changes. It deserves actual respect. And that's about it, guys. Thank you for listening. What are your thoughts about this one? I actually am curious. Are you in favor of Black Snape casting or no? Please leave those comments in the comment section. I would love to read all of those. And if you like this video, please push that like button below and also hit that notification bell for some of my future videos. And yeah, please subscribe while you're at it. That's it. Thank you. See you next time and have a great day, everyone. Goodbye. Peace.